Hi, welcome to the channel. Today is the first day of 20th chapter, that is how to stay young in spirit forever. Let's start. Your subconscious mind never grows old. It is timeless, ageless, and endless. It is a part of the universal mind of God, which was never born and will never die. Fatigue or old age does not have an impact on any spiritual quality of power, patience, kindness, veracity, humility, goodwill, peace, harmony, and brotherly love are attributes and qualities that never grow old. If you continue to generate these qualities here on this plane of life, you will always remain young in spirit. Years alone are not responsible for bringing about degenerative disorders. It is not time itself, but the fear of time that has a harmful aging effect on our minds and bodies. Indeed, the neurotic fear of the effects of time may well be the cause of premature aging. During the many years of my public life, I have had occasion to study the biographies of famous men and women who have continued their productive activities into the years well beyond the normal span of life. Some of them even achieve their greatness of the first time in old age. It has also been my privilege to meet and get to know countless individuals of no special prominence who, in their lesser sphere, belong among those hardy mortals who have proved that old age itself does not destroy the creative powers of the mind and body. He had grown old in his thought life. A few years ago, I called on an old friend in London, England. He had recently turned 80. For many people, this is cause for rejoicing, but unfortunately not for him. I was deeply shocked when I saw him. He looked and felt weak, even ill, although he admitted that his doctor had not found any particular medical problem. Doctors are idiots, he proclaimed. I know very well what my disease is. It is life itself. I asked him what he meant. No one wants to or needs me, he cried, and why should they? I am of no use to anyone. We are born, we grow up, we get old, and we die, and that's the end of the story. I saw that, in a way, he was right in his understanding of his illness. He was sick not because of life, but because of the way he viewed life. His mental attitude of futility and worthlessness had brought about his sickness. He was looking forward only to census and after that nothing indeed. He had grown old in his thought life, and his subconscious mind made manifest everything he was expecting and dreading. Age is the dawn of wisdom. Unfortunately, many people have the same attitude as this unhappy man. They are afraid of what they term old age, the end and extinction. What this really means is that they are afraid of life. Yet life is endless. Age is not the flight of years, but the turn of wisdom. Wisdom is the awareness of the tremendous spiritual powers of your subconscious mind and the knowledge of how to apply these powers to lead a full and happy life. Get it out of your head once and for all this that 65, 75, or 85 years of age is synonymous with the end of you or anybody else. It can be beginning of a glorious, fruitful, active, and most productive life pattern, but better than you have ever experienced. Believe this, expect it, and your subconscious will bring it to pass. Welcome the change. Old age is not a tragic occurrence. What we call the aging process is really change. It is to be welcomed joyfully and gladly. Each phase of human life is a step forward on a path that has no end. We have enormous powers that transcend the limits of our body. We have marvelous senses that transcend the limits of our five physical senses. Life is spiritual and eternal. We need never grow old, for life or God cannot grow old. The Bible says that God is life. Life is self renewing, eternal, indestructible, and is the reality of all people. Life is. A woman once asked Thomas Edison, the electrical wizard, Mr. Edison, what is electricity? He replied, Madam, electricity is, use it. Electricity is the name we give an invisible power that we do not fully comprehend. Yet, we learn all we can about the principles of electricity and its uses. We use it in countless ways. Scientists cannot see the electron with their eyes, yet they accept it as a scientific fact because it is the only valid conclusion that coincides with other experimental evidence. We cannot see life. However, we know we are alive. Life is, and we are here to express it in all its beauty and glory. The mind and spirit do not grow old, the Bible says, and this is the life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God. John 17, verses 3. Anyone who thinks or believes that the earthly cycle of birth, adolescence, youth, maturity, and old age is all there is to life is indeed to be pitied. Such a person has no anchor, no hope, no vision. To that, a person's life has no meaning. This type of belief brings frustration, stagnation, cynicism, and a sense of hopelessness that leads to neurosis and mental aberration of all kinds. What if you can no longer play a fast game of tennis or swim as fast as your children? What if your body has slowed down or you walk with a slow step? Remember, life is always clothing itself new. What people call death is but a journey to a new city in another dimension of life. I saw to those who come to my lectures that they should accept what we call old age gracefully. Age has its own glory, beauty, and wisdom that belong to it. Peace, love, joy, beauty, happiness, wisdom, goodwill, and understanding are qualities that never grow old or die. Ralph Waldo Emerson, poet and philosopher, said, we do not count a man's years until he has nothing else to count. Your character, the quality of your mind, your faith, and your convictions are not subject to decay. You are as young as you think you are. I give public lectures in Kingston Hall in London, England. Every few years, following one of these lectures, a surgeon came up to speak to me. I am 84 years old. He told me I operate every morning, visit patients in the afternoons, and I write for medical and other scientific journals in the evening. His attitude was that he was as useful as he believed himself to be and as young as his thoughts. He said to me, "It's true what you said just now. A person is as strong as he thinks he is and as valuable as he thinks he is." This surgeon has not surrendered to advancing years. He knows that he is immoral. His final comment to me was, "If I should pass on tomorrow, I will find myself helping and curing people in the next dimension, not with a surgeon's scalpel, but with mental and spiritual surgery." Your gray hairs are an asset. Don't ever walk away from an opportunity while thinking, "I am too old to take this on." The way lies stagnation and mental death. If you become convinced you are finished, your subconscious mind will accept that belief and bring it into reality. Some people are old at 30 while others are young at 80. The mind is the master weaver, the architect, the designer, and the sculptor. The playwright George Bernard Shaw was still active at 90, and the artistic quality of his mind had not relaxed for active duty. I meet men and women who tell me that some employers almost slam the door in their faces when they say they are over 40. This attitude of the part of employers is called callous and completely void of compassion and understanding. Who decreed that you must be under 35 years of age to receive consideration? The reasoning behind this is shallow and specious. If the employer would stop to think, he or she would realize that the person was not selling his or her age or gray hair. Rather, the person would be willing to give of his or her talents, experience, and wisdom gathered through years of experience in the marketplace of life. Age is an asset. Your age should be a distinct asset to any organization because of your practice and application through the years of the principles of the golden rule and the law of love and goodwill. Your gray hair, if you have any, should stand for greater wisdom, skill, and understanding. Your emotional and spiritual maturity should be a tremendous blessing to any organization. People should not be shunted to the sidelines at 65 or at any particular chronological age. This is a time of life when they should be most useful in handling personal problems, making plans for the future, making decisions, and guiding others in the realm of creative ideas based on their experience and insight into the nature of the business. Be your ace. I have had it with this business. A Hollywood script writer told me I have done first rate work for years. I know my craft as well as anyone in town. I have won awards at festivals around the world. Puzzled, I asked, then what's wrong? He threw up his hands. The last story conference I went to, this 30-year-old story executive told me I could not relate to today's audiences. When I tried to argue, he informed me that he didn't want any scripts that weren't geared to the minds and or tastes of boys 12 to 18. I walked out. This is a tragic state of affairs. How are the great masses of people expected to become emotionally and spiritually mature if they are fed such a diet? They are being blinded to the potential they have within them for personal growth. They are told they must glorify youth, even though in reality, youth stands for experience, lack of discernment, and hasty judgment. I can keep up with the best of them. I know dozens in their 60s and others who spend their time in a frantic campaign to stay young. They take fat drugs, follow fat diets, waste their money of flimsy exercise machines whose virtues and touted on a late night television. Those with greater resources go in for spa treatments, liposuction, and cosmetic surgery. Their constant futile cry is, look, I can keep up with the best of them. These people should remember a great truth. A man, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Prov 23 verse 7. Diets, multivitamins, and supports of all kinds will not keep these people young. They must realize that they grow old or remain young in accordance with their processes of thinking. Your subconscious mind is conditioned by your thoughts. If your thoughts are constantly on the beautiful, the noble, and the good, you will remain spiritually young regardless of your chronological years. Fear of old age. Job said, the thing which I greatly fear is come upon me. Many people fear old age. They are uncertain about the future because they anticipate mental and physical deterioration as the years advance. What they think and feel comes to pass. You grow old when you lose interest in life, when you cease to dream, to hunger after new truths, and to search for new words to conquer. When your mind is open to new ideas and new interests, and when you raise the curtain and let in the sunshine and inspiration and of new truths of life and the universe, you will be young and vital. Okay, we will start. You have much to give in the next session next day. If you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get a notification about all new videos upload. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.